So here we are with the Redmi 7A by Xiaomi. This is one of Xiaomi's most budget offerings at only £100, and there will be a link in the description to an Amazon affiliate program. And if you do want to order this phone, I do encourage you to use that link because it helps me out a lot. So let's go ahead and just open up the box and find out just what we get inside. So right on the top we do get some paperwork. I suspect it will be the normal sort of stuff. We do have a SIM ejector tool and just 2 bits of paper there for warranty. We'll take that out of the way. We do have the phone itself, which comes in this little bag. We'll place it off to the side for the moment until we've discovered the rest of the box. So also inside the package, you do get a 5-watt fast charger, which will place off to the side there, and also a micro USB cable. This unfortunately isn't USB-C like the other sub £100 phone that I did a little while ago, the blackview A80 Pro. The link will be up here or down in the description below if you're interested. But let's go ahead and take the phone out of its little bag and take a little bit of a closer look. So of course on the front we do have that 5.45 HD display. It is only 720p. It comes with that Qualcomm Snapdragon 439, so it's not going to be the fastest. It does have a 12 megapixel camera on the back and a 4000 mAh battery. So on the back of the phone you can see that camera and that flash, and we'll go ahead and just peel off this sticker here. And it's got this lovely little matte finish on the back for this black matte finish. There is no case on this one, but I feel like you probably wouldn't need it. I don't see this slipping anywhere. Along one side you do have that SIM tray. On the bottom you have a speaker, and you also have that micro USB slot. On the other side you've got the power volume rockers, and on the top you have that lovely 3.5mm jack. So this does of course support headphones, though it doesn't have any in the box. Let's try and get this sticker off. There we go. And we'll get this thing booting up. So as I mentioned, this is just £100. And I think it's incredible just how much phone we can get for that now. This has 2 GB of RAM. It does only have 16 GB of internal storage, so they've really skimped out on the internal storage there. Android takes up about 6 of that, so you're only going to have about 10 GB worth of storage to play with. So I highly suggest getting a external SIM card, or external SD card, sorry, and placing it just in that SIM card slot if you want any chance of using this phone for a long time. So this is using MIUI 10. And of course, being a Redmi device by Xiaomi, this does come with Google still. Thankfully, we do still have all of the Google services here on Xiaomi devices. It is only the Huawei's and the Honors that don't. So there's the United Kingdom there. You'll notice that display is not excellent. The viewing angles are pretty awful as they go. But I'm going to go ahead and connect to my Wi-Fi and finish up the setup, and then we'll have a look around the new MIUI 10. Okay, so I've gone through all the account setup, and it's asking me for another pin here, for another pattern. This is all very normal Android stuff. Unfortunately, this phone does not have a fingerprint sensor anywhere on the device, so this can't biometrically unlock. They say they have face unlock, but I'm not sure I would trust it too much with it just being a normal camera. So we do get 2 options here. We get the default and we get the classic. I'm going to go classic. So this is MIUI 10. Oh, is it? Just sort of flicking between them. Yeah, I want classic. Oh, that was weird. Okay, so it's applying that. And while it's applying that, we'll have a look at that those bezels and those chins. So this has big bezels and big chins, especially compared to something like the blackview A80 Pro, which I'll go and grab now while this is setting up actually. This would be a good comparison. Okay, so here we go. Do remember this phone was the same price. In terms of screen size, they are of course different, and that is fine. But in terms of bezels, you can see that Redmi have very much gone with the older style rather than a teardrop, just to have a full chin and forehead there. One thing I'm definitely not a fan of is the Redmi logo at the bottom there. I'd much prefer to just have it on the back of the device. But here we go. So we are into MIUI 10, and as we scroll around, this thing seems fairly fast and fairly competent. So we have quite a lot of bloatware installed. We have things like security. They have their own browser, their own music app. But in terms of like extra rubbish, there is very little on here. They've got AliExpress by default, which is an odd choice. We do of course have Facebook installed on here. And we've got all of our messages and everything else. But as I'm just going through app to app, it seems fairly responsive and fairly quick. Certainly not as quick as something like the blackview that I have next to me here. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to have a look at this camera, because this camera is quite interesting to me. This is a fairly high resolution for such a low-end device. So I'm going to quickly just take a picture here. In terms of response time, that was not particularly fast. But that gives you a general idea of the photo quality that we're dealing with here. And because it's a slightly higher megapixel camera than something like the blackview, the actual image itself looks a little sharper. And obviously I'll put up the image as well, full screen, in this video so you can have a look at it. We also have a video mode, a photos mode, and a pro mode. And that's all very standard for this kind of device. What we'll do is we'll flip over to the front-facing camera and I will take a quick selfie for you guys. Of course, I'm going to put that in the video as well so you can see the quality of this. I believe it does have a beauty mode on it, or at least it looks like it does, just by how smooth my skin looks there. Though, admittedly, that's not a bad photo at all. There we go. You can see my setup here with the Pixel G1S. The review is in the description. And the camera there as well. It's just my iPhone 11 Pro on this rather dodgy looking stand. But anyway. So, let's take a little bit of a further look at, let's say it's gaming performance, shall we? With that Snapdragon 439, I'm not expecting amazing performance, but we are going to download Call of Duty Mobile and have a play. But again, we're going to come back just to have a look at this compared to its bigger blackview brother. And you can see that actually, in terms of differences, obviously the blackview has many more cameras, but actually I would argue that the Xiaomi REDMI here gives a better photo overall, just because of its processing and also its higher megapixel in general. We of course do have that fingerprint sensor on the back, and that is missing here on the Redmi, and that's a shame. I'd like to see that in the future. But to unlock the phone, it's a fairly standard pin, which is quite odd. In this day and age, to be putting in a pin instead of biometrically unlocking it does feel a little bit weird. But it's something I'm sure I can deal with. It seems fast and responsive. Let's go ahead and load up YouTube and have a listen to those speakers and have a look at that display a little bit closer. Let's take a look at my favourite YouTuber. Oh.
Hello everybody, my name is Robert and this is a review
may have thought from that intro, no, I am not trying in bitches. The trim is good, but it's not that good. What I am trying in, however, is these flipping wireless headphones, truly wireless headphones. Today we've got these ones from GRDE, and so I would say that's not particularly loud. The speaker is just the one speaker on the bottom here. There is no dual. It doesn't use the top like many phones do these days. So the audio is not particularly loud, which is a shame. Maybe if we loaded up some music, we'd have a slightly louder speaker. Let's try that. So let me just search some royalty-free music quickly. Okay, upbeat, happy background music. We'll ignore the advert for the moment. There we go. So actually, that's fairly loud. I've definitely heard louder from a phone, but that is clear. It doesn't distort much like it did on many of the other phones that I've had in the past at around this price range. And also that display is not half bad. For a 720p panel, you're kind of not really noticing it. The colours are nicely represented as well. So I don't think you're missing out on a lot here at all. For just £100, you're still getting a very competent Android experience. Of course, you're not getting an iPhone experience from this, but you wouldn't expect it. So that is still downloading in the background. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to stop this video here. This has been my first look and unboxing of the Redmi 7A. But what's going to happen is, over today, I'm going to be playing with this thing, trying it out a little bit more, playing some games, listening to some music, and really putting this thing through its paces. So if you want to see the full review for this video, or for this phone, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification as well, because that's how you're going to learn about my videos first. This video will be going up today, which is Saturday, and the second video, which will be the full review, should be up tomorrow. If not, it will be up by the next weekend. It really does depend just how far I can push this thing before being able to get that video out. So anyway, guys, my name's been Robert, and this has been Review Clue, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.